But also, I mean, working with Cory Sandhagen, Christian Allen, these guys that, like you said, Cory's arguably one of, if not the best bantamweight on the planet. I mean, that's got to make you feel good. And I think before the show, you mentioned that you plan to have him in your corner, or at least part of your team for fight night as well.
Yeah, he's going to be in my corner along with Elliot and Cody Donovan.
Nice,
It's
nice.
it's going to be good, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of MMA knowledge.
Yeah, it's like a solid corner, solid team behind me, man. I really feel part of it, and I feel like it's my time. I
Cool.
really do.
That's awesome. Do you train with Cory on a regular basis? Like, is he a regular sparring partner of yours?
Yeah, he. I mean, from when I moved here, and he was always beating my ass. Man, it was like, man, like this sucks going. Like sometimes it would be me and him, like as like the smallest people there.
Yeah.
And I'd be like stuck with like multiple rounds with him or something, which is good, right? It's good, but
Right.
like when it's happening, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's like shit, damn. But it's just like training with someone that's just a higher level than you. You're gaining that experience faster, and you're leveling up faster, and
Yeah.
it's really paid off, man.
This is the Prize Fighting Business. I'm your host, Daniel Caycedo, and today my interview guest is professional mixed martial artist and prize fighter Justin Wetzell. Justin is 4-1 as a pro, after having gone 10-0 as an amateur. He currently trains with Elevation Fight Team in Denver, Colorado, and is preparing for one of the biggest fights of his career to date. He'll be fighting at LFA 79 this Friday, November 22nd, at the First Bank Center in Broomfield, Colorado. The fights will also be streamed live internationally on UFC Fight Pass, so a great opportunity for Justin to show his skills off to the world. Now let's dive into my conversation with professional fighter Justin Wetzell. All right. Well, Justin, thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
So you're preparing for a big fight for you, the sixth fight of your career at LFA 79 coming up this weekend. So how are you feeling right now?
Good, man. I'm really pumped, man. It's kind of a long road getting here. It's been about 9 years since I first started training, and to culminate to this moment it's sweet. It's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, and they just recently signed with UFC Fight Pass, so you're streaming internationally. And you're 10 fights in your amateur career, 5 in your pro career. So, I mean, what does this next step kind of mean for you in the grand scheme of things?
I mean, LFA obviously being on Fight Pass, there's going to be a lot of exposure. So this is kind of my chance to showcase to, I mean, it's worldwide, so to the world.
Yeah.
What I've been doing here, my improvements I've made, and just kind of to get a shot at a shot, really.
Yeah.
If LFA is the biggest feeder into the UFC, that's my goal in my career, to make it to the big stage.
And it certainly is. I mean, we see their champions get signed all the time. Even guys that aren't champions, they'll get that short notice shot in the UFC when the UFC needs somebody, call up to the Dana White Contender Series. So certainly, I imagine stuff that's on your radar. But obviously not looking past this fight. You're fighting Michael Akia. He's a 1-0 as a pro. Fairly significant amateur career like you've had as well. What does fight camp look like? I know you're currently about today's Sunday, so you fight next Saturday. You're about a week out. You're in the middle of your weight cut, or the front half of the weight cut at least. Yeah. What has fight camp been like for you?
It's kind of an interesting question. I don't know what week it is now. Week 20 something.
Okay.
Week something teen. I don't know, because originally LFA was scheduled for October 4th.
That's right.
And I found out about that in August, maybe. August, I think. I don't know. And I was originally going to fight Adam Martinez from Factory X.
Yeah.
So going into that fight, it was. I've seen Adam fight. He fought my teammate Corey Galloway, and he got dropped. I've never seen a fight like that. He got dropped like 5 times.
It's a hell of a fight.
Yeah, and got up every time and kept coming back stronger and pulled out the third round submission, dude. That was an insane fight. So, I mean, going to that, I knew, like, mentally, I was preparing, like, this is going to be, like, the toughest fight of my career. This guy is, like, he's a bruiser, right? He's just going to keep coming, and, might not be able to put this guy away. Like, this might be just, I have to be 15 minutes, seamless. I have to, like, execute. And I know I can do that. Just have to execute and do it. So that was probably in August, I think. Again, like I was
Right.
saying, but I was really like revving up, really just staying focused, going through all that, and then Adam eventually he dropped out of the fight. I don't really know much behind that, but he dropped out, and I got Michael
Yeah.
as a replacement.
And that was 3 months ago, essentially. So you've been in fight camp since then?
Yeah, since then. So I found out it was like a week before the event. I think the Wednesday the week before the fight.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole card got scrapped. But yeah, so before that Wednesday though, I found out Mike was my opponent, my replacement.
So he actually dropped out prior to the event getting canceled.
So
Got it.
I was like 10, 11 days before I was going to fight on the October 4th card. I found out, I get a call like, hey, Adam's out, Michael's in. Okay, so look, like did some research on him. And honestly, I mean, it was almost like a weight lifted off my shoulders in a way because it's such a completely different stylistic matchup. Like I was, like I said with Martinez, I was ready. Like this could be 15 minutes of hell, and I gotta grind this shit out and fucking do my absolute. I have to put on the performance of my life. Yeah, really. And not that I don't anymore. I still have to. Being it's my next fight and it's gonna be on Fight Pass. And,
right.
I mean, whatever. But it was like I said, a weight lifted off my shoulder almost because Martinez is like a forward bruiser, like in your face, whereas this guy's Michael, his style is more of a jiu-jitsu, grappling, pull guard right away, which really feeds right into my style, I think. Yeah,
because you have a grinding style. I mean, you have a move forward style and a strike with them until it needs to go into the grappling realm, but you feel confident in both of those areas. And I mean, you train with Team Elevation and all these guys that are very good on the mat as well. So, I mean, it does seem to be a strong matchup for you. Not necessarily maybe a lesser fighter, but a strong matchup in a different arena that you have to worry about being grappling primarily. Yeah,
and I guess to answer your question shortly, I've been in camps pretty much since August, found out about the fight October 4th, and kind of a blessing actually. After a couple days after the event was scheduled, I got like an eye infection.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a blessing, but that kind of made me taper off and take like a solid week and a half off and let my body recover, and just because I had just gone through, like I said, a whole camp.
Yeah, and a fight camp wears you down, wears your body down, wears you down mentally. So no, I agree. I do think that it's likely a blessing in disguise. Give you a little bit of a week or two to kind of refresh yourself, get hungry again.
Kind of forced me to stay out of the gym, and because I don't know if I had still had, I'd still be wanting to like even go light or something. But I was just genuinely just chilling for a solid week and a half, and then right back to it, know. And one of my friends told me, Corey Galloway actually, when I was watching the Fury card that was here, he was asking me about like, you have another fight scheduled, something coming. It's like, no man, I'm still waiting. I don't know what LFA. It's like this is before they got signed with Fight Pass. And all that. I don't know what's gonna happen
because things were kind of up in the air even for the fighters. You guys didn't really know.
And he gave me some advice like, all right. Well, this is what you need to do. You need to go out. You need to eat a bunch of food. You need to like maybe get drunk, drink some alcohol or something. Just feel shitty the next morning or whatever, and you'll get a call that day. That day.
Is that how it works?
So I just laughed it off. Whatever. Like a week and a half went by. I didn't go out and drink, but more of my weakness is like sugar and food, like alcohol and shit like that's easy to stay away from, but like stuff like cookies and all that stuff, dude, that's the stuff that's the hardest part. So I took his advice and I bought it was like 2 dozen of these like soft top cookies from King Soopers, and just driving home like 5 or 6 gone, 1,500 calories down already, go home, was just eating more of them, felt horrible in the middle of the night, and I'm like just like stomach turning, get up, I just don't feel like anybody could beat my ass right now in this shape. And go to my email in the next morning, dude, and it's a message from Mark Beery, LFA, like, hey, we got it, like your matchup.
Cool.
Like we're back.
Cool.
So I'm like, oh wow, it actually works. Like it was crazy how that manifested. Like his advice totally.
Yeah, it's good advice for young fighters.
Yeah. If you need a fight, you just need to get to like the worst state physically, and then you'll get a message for it.
Cool. So what'd you think when you first got your matchup? When you see this guy's 1-0, he's got 8 or so fights as an amateur, pretty good amateur record. Yeah. Like you said, when you looked into him, you see that he's a grappler. He's got a couple heel hook victories as an amateur. I mean, what was your first thought when you saw this was your matchup?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good matchup for me, but I always look at things how someone else could beat me. Like what could they do? I don't necessarily want to focus on what they're gonna do, but like knowing their strengths and knowing what they could do to beat me.
Yeah, aware of your areas for opportunity for other people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought like the only way he's gonna be able to like really beat me is to like pull guard or do some Imanari roll or some ashi and try to trap my leg in like a heel hook leg lock. That's really the only way I see him being able to beat me.
Sure.
And,
but you work with Elliot Marshall though. I mean, you mentioned before the show that you plan to have him in your corner as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something. Those are moves that he's familiar with. I mean, is that something that you've worked during this camp to kind of avoid?
Actually been working on specifically heel hook defense.
Nice.
That's my biggest, like I said, my biggest concern. Now, the chances of him doing that to me, I think, are extremely, extremely small.
Yeah.
But, like, that is his best method to beat me. I mean, obviously, he could, like, do others, like, submission stuff. But that, to me, is his biggest, like, strength. Or just, I don't know, leg locks in general are kind of funky. But once you start learning, like, the defense, it's just like defending, like, an armbar or triangle. You kind of see it coming and you know what to do.
And a lot of times those people are putting themselves in kind of a tough situation for themselves when they do that. When you go for that roll, when you invert yourself underneath the other fighter in jiu-jitsu, you know, you have the ability to do that without getting hit in the face.
Yeah,
but in MMA,
exactly.
I mean, you're in that position to get hammer-fisted. It opens up a lot more opportunity for you to finish the fight, too. And I would argue, leg locking, I mean, it's kind of a first round type submission. Once you guys get, you know, sweaty, and it's a lot harder to stay high on the person's leg and lock it up.
Yeah, that's very true, dude. The first half of the first round, I think, is going to be when he's most dangerous, when he's dry, when he still has like that squeeze and explosion.
Right.
But I think after that, he's going to be in trouble if he starts like. I watched his last amateur fight, and he was like genuinely like just like he pulled guard and the dude would get up, his opponent would get up and stand above him, and he would just like lay on his back and just like get in my guard type deal, like down there. And I remember watching on my computer, I just kind of like face palm, just like, oh my god, dude, like
it's a little cringy.
Yeah, it made me like angry. I'm like, fuck this guy, dude. I'm gonna fucking hurt you. Like, like it's dumb. Why? Like, it's just not an intelligent way to fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, your style again is kind of that move forward, and you dictate where the fight goes. So, if he's not a wrestler, the likelihood of him being able to take you down without, you know, some kind of slip, some fluke happening, isn't probably that high. I mean, unless you engage in his guard pulling.
Yeah. And being that is going to be his biggest strength, like being on the ground, my plan anyway is like for the first round or even the whole fight really is take it to where he's uncomfortable. And something I've been working on the past year and a half really has been my stand-up and just my footwork in general.
Cool.
And that's where he's going to be uncomfortable. And I think that's... I think he's gonna get hurt on the feet.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the whole card. I mean, it's a lot of Colorado fighters going to work. And you mentioned that you have Elliot Marshall in your corner. He's very good at jiu-jitsu. I mean, he's an MMA guy in general, UFC veteran, but very good at jiu-jitsu, a wealth of knowledge there. Who have you been working your striking with? You mentioned you've also been working on your footwork. Who have you done that primarily with?
Yeah, I started sometime at the end of last year at high altitude, and I've been working a lot with Miguel Perez, amateur fighter.
Yeah, but very good on the feet.
Very good on the feet. And, you know, Christian Allen, he does his striking classes at high altitude.
Nice.
And really, really trying to consciously, like learn that, like, that style. There's, like, a specific style they have, like, with their footwork and, like, shift steps and all this. It's a whole universe, really. It's crazy. And another thing I've been doing pretty much is trying to mimic everything Cory Sandhagen does.
Because he's also there. He trains there as well. He's got that style.
He teaches there. He's like the prime example of like that high altitude striking Christian Allen style. And, you know, in my opinion, he's the best bantamweight in the world.
Yeah.
And hey, what he's doing works, so I'm just gonna try to do everything he does.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like look exactly like Cory. I have
Of
my
course.
own background with like wrestling and my
Of
own
course.
style to fit into that, but just really adapting his stand-up style, like this something that's really hit me this year with stand-up is stance switching, not being just a one stance fighter. Because now that I see it, like now that I do both southpaw and orthodox, I try to blend that into my striking style.
Cool.
I can see other fighters that only fight orthodox or only fight southpaw. It's a disadvantage because now your straight is only coming from that one hand. Your lead hook is only coming from this hand, or vice versa, or whatever. And as MMA keeps evolving and growing, I think you're going to see that a lot more, is stance switching, where it's kind of like evolve or die.
Yeah, you see it with Israel, you see it with Cory Sandhagen, like you said. I mean, I imagine it opens up a lot more opportunity for you as the striker. Again, your ability to dictate where the fight is, you're able to get twice as many angles, theoretically, being able to switch stances, and it's opening up holes in their game if they can't handle the stance switching, if they can't handle a southpaw orientation or vice versa very well. So, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be huge, and it is huge in MMA, like you said, through this evolution we're seeing on the striking and these people getting better on their feet. Stance switching seems to be a big part of it, in all the weight classes. But also, I mean, working with Cory Sandhagen, Christian Allen, these guys that, like you said, Cory's arguably one of, if not the best bantamweight on the planet. I mean, that's got to make you feel good. And I think before the show, you mentioned that you plan to have him in your corner, or at least part of your team, for fight night as well.
Yeah, he's going to be in my corner along with Elliot and Cody Donovan.
Nice.
It's going to be good, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of MMA knowledge.
Yeah, it's like a solid corner, solid team behind me, man. I really feel part of it, and I feel like it's my time. I really do.
That's awesome. Do you train with Cory on a regular basis? Like, is he a regular sparring partner of yours?
Yeah. He, I mean, from when I moved here, and he was always beating my ass. Man, it was like, man, like this sucks going. Like sometimes it would be me and him, like as like the smallest people there.
Yeah.
And I'd be like stuck with like multiple rounds with him or something, which is good, right? It's good, but like when it's happening, it's not good. It's not fun. It's like shit, damn. But it's just like training with someone that's just a higher level than you. You're gaining that experience faster, and you're leveling up faster, and it's really paid off, man.
And confidence building, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you've got Cory obviously as your training partner, but you're at Team Elevation. There's lots of, you mentioned when you first came, maybe you were one of the few smaller guys, but I mean the team's grown so much even just in the last year, let alone over the past 3 years. So who are who have been your primary training partners for this camp?
So I've been working with Michael Santos too. He's fighting also on the same card for LFA. Miguel, I talked about him. Perez. Man, I'm drawing a blank on names. Sorry, guys.
So I mean, are you essentially just rotating through the people at Team Elevation, or do you generally work with like 2 guys, 3 guys?
I wouldn't say I generally work with only like it's kind of who's at practice. But, like usually like the 45 and unders. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Daniel, Carlos, Calderon, Rich. Trying to think of the little small guys, and I can't. Jared, he just moved here too.
Cool.
Actually, Mike's last amateur opponent, Jared. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He moved here, so kind of insider knowledge too. With him. That's interesting. Yeah, man. It really has grown too, because I think there's only like maybe a handful of people left from when Leister was the coach here.
Sure.
When it was at the Muscle Farm headquarters. So a lot of new faces, a lot of new people coming in. It's great, dude. It's good not being the smallest guy, like like for sure anymore.
Yeah, and speaking of your size, I mean, your last fight was at 140 pounds, kind of a catchweight bout. But previously, I mean, you fought as high as lightweight. You fought 145. This fight's going to be at bantamweight 135. And you were saying before the show that you feel like this is a good weight for you, at least in these more premier organizations, the higher organizations where you are having people cut a lot more weight. 135 is a place where you feel comfortable and you plan to stay.
Yeah, definitely. For any of these like high level or bigger promotions, my pro weight, like I kind of said that when I started as an amateur, like I'm gonna fight at 145, but my pro weight is gonna be 135. And also, it's funny you mentioned that too, because when I came here and visited 3 years ago, me and Austin Hubbard came here and like visited just to check out Team Elevation back when it was in the Muscle Farm days or whatever.
Right.
Dan Hooker was here.
Oh, wow. And
he was fighting at 45 at the time. I'm like, how is this possible?
It's a big guy.
Yeah, he was huge. Like, there's no way I can fight. I was training for my last amateur fight when I came here and visited. But I was like, there's no way I could, like...
I think he's over 6 foot.
Yeah, it was... I could not believe it, dude. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely fighting him. Like, that just... I mean, I already knew I was going to, right? But that, like, definitely confirmed it and sealed it. I was like, no way. Like, way too big.
So, how has the weight cut process been going for you?
Solid, man. The weight cut is, it's easy, but it's just about being disciplined and, you know, it's not the weight cut's the hardest part, but being, like, professional about your diet and being an athlete is, I think, the hardest part of all this. Like, I love to, like, get up and train and do all that stuff, man. That's the fun part.
Right.
But, weight cut's been pretty easy. I still eat good. I don't really go hungry unless, late at night. That's about the only time I'm hungry.
Sure,
when I'm
you're not snacking.
Yeah, I can't like get that late night snack or whatever.
Yeah.
But I woke up today about 1:45 and a half. I got to weigh in Thursday, so still got plenty of time.
And this is day 2 of water loading. You were saying you started yesterday. So I mean, if you're even just drinking a gallon of water a day, that's 8 pounds. So you're right where you need to be. It's just a matter of maintaining the water load essentially at this point. And then how far out do you kind of cut it out? Is it the day of or the day before?
With the water?
Yeah,
the day before the weigh-ins, I kind of just play it by ear. Like if I'm like thirsty or tongue's dry or whatever, I'll like drink some water. But then the day of the weigh-in, I pretty much cut everything out and just do my either a bath or a sauna.
Okay.
But with all the water loading, it just flushes right out.
Yeah.
It comes out really quick. But this is the first weigh-in I've had that's going to be in the daytime.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that. So it's, what time is it?
2 p.m.
2 p.m.?
2 p.m.
Okay.
Usually, not usually, every single weigh-in I've ever done has been like 6 p.m. plus.
So do you wake up earlier? Like, how do you
I don't know. I was debating in my head, like, do I cut like earlier the night before and then cut the rest of the day, or just wake up like 6 a.m. and
or try to sleep well and then wake up earlier?
Yeah. But it's hard to sleep well when you cut, like when you do that sauna or whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that quality sleep. But man, yeah, it's gonna be. I'll make it for sure. It's just about being disciplined and staying on task. But I still eat good. Like the other day, I did wake up kind of cranky though. Like I was like just like kind of cut out some calories like the night before. Like stopped eating at like 6 or 7 and went to bed like I don't know 11 p.m. or something. Woke up just like
hangry.
Like drank some water and then I got these little like organic. Dark truffle chocolates, like super dark chocolate, man.
Because dark chocolate's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, in quantities, right?
Sure.
Like with the amount I had, I just had like one little truffle popped in, like my frown just like, I was like, it was stupid, man. I felt so much better, like instantly.
Yeah.
And you know, it's early in the morning, so I got all day to digest it, not like cling on to me or anything. But that's what I mean is discipline. Like that's when it is healthy, right? It's okay to have one,
right?
Not
binging on it.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so easy, man. It's just to abuse. Yeah.
So I mean, you're like 6 days out right now. Are you cutting food out? Like, do you still eat throughout this week?
It's kind of like yes, but no. For instance, this morning I like a pretty fat breakfast. I had some avocados, eggs, and something else.
But stuff that's going through your body. Your body's using it. It's nothing that's gonna kind of hang around.
More like simple carbohydrates and stuff. So like it doesn't like cling into your body and stay in there. So it kind of just goes right by you. Yeah, I mean, I don't really cut food out again until like food and water last like 12 hours maybe.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's good. That's not bad.
Yeah, well, the water loading too, like you're drinking 2 gallons of, 16 pounds of water is going through your body. Your stomach's always so full. So anytime you eat just a little bit, like your stomach's like really full.
Yeah.
The only downside is like just, having to go every 5-10 minutes. I'm surprised I haven't had to go yet, actually.
Well, you just let us know.
Yeah, I will.
So fight camp, like you said, it's kind of been going on since August. You had that nice little break with the eye infection or the whatever you had going on. What does it look like? I mean, what does it look like? Are you still pushing hard this last week, or have things tapered off and now this last week's more just taking it easy and focusing on the weight cut?
Easy. Yeah, even like this last Friday, which is usually sparring, I did one like solid like hard round and then pretty much just did tech rounds and just sweat. Now it's I'm still gonna like do like a little workout here and there like every day, just like get a light sweat, but nothing strenuous. Just it's really at this point just relaxing, have fun. The hard work's been put in, and the term like fight camp, like it. I mean, everyone knows what it means, so I use it. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it like. I've been doing this year round. I've been doing this like I don't know since I'm like a solid year and a half now of just being consistent, just
That's
always
great.
being in like there's no like downtime really. There
Right.
is a difference, I will say though, like when you sign the contract, you're scheduled 6 weeks out, you do change things, like you change like your like I said, your diet, your strictness, like you're gonna be at more like as for sometimes like if you don't have a fight coming up, maybe you're just doing 1 a day,
Right.
2 a day, 3 a day, like maybe once a week. Whereas when you have the fight camps, like okay, we're doing 2 a days every day.
Really.
Or like if we're like you react to your body. If your body's tired,
Sure.
your body's
Sure.
tired. But the benefits of like being year round and always training is like if you're tired, if your body needs a rest, taking a day off, taking a couple days off is not gonna change anything.
It won't make or break you.
Yeah, you're not gonna get you're not gonna get worse from it. Your technique's not going anywhere. You've been doing this forever.
That's a
Now,
good point.
if you take a couple months off and you got to fight in 6 weeks, and you're just that whole 6 weeks is just like gearing up to like get back into your base shape
Right.
type deal. Like a week off is gonna fucking suck. Like
Yeah. And you hear some fighters take
Yeah.
that approach. It's interesting, but like, I mean, I assume that it even helps you ramp up back into that camp
Yeah.
intensity if you're training year round too.
Yeah.
What does a normal week of training look like? Like, what is the schedule for you when you wake up?
It's pretty structured, man. So Monday at 10 a.m. I go to Landau Performance.
Nice.
Get it's usually a strength workout, lifting. Then right after that, I head home pretty much, eat a quick little snack, and then head to Easton, Denver, do wrestling. Usually after that, I kind of listen to my body. Wrestling can be pretty rigorous training,
Yeah.
So if my body's like pretty beat and tired, I'll probably just chill the rest of the night as far as training goes. But if not, then I will like maybe go to high altitude and work a little striking, hit the bag or something, hit some pads, but nothing crazy. Tuesday, 1 p.m. is sparring, big glove sparring, and then Tuesday night is either Elliot's class, jiu-jitsu class from 7 to 8:30, or high altitude also does like a sparring, but it's like tech sparring, really like light, just pretty much you're striking with your without even closing your fist, just working movement, working all like your things.
Yeah.
That's at 7 p.m. So this year I'd say I've been doing more of the high altitude classes at night because I've been really trying to focus like on my footwork and
tech sparring's perfect for that.
Yeah, and improving my stand up because not that my jiu-jitsu or wrestling is like world class, amazing, the best ever, this or that, but that's my base. Like those are my best qualities, I guess, and I've been trying to catch up with my stand up, so going there a lot. And then Wednesday, back to Landau's 10 a.m. That's the conditioning aspect. I love that class. I mean, it can suck sometimes, but that's the hard. I don't want to say hard cardio day. I guess. Do that and then go home, have a snack, go back to high altitude for 1 p.m. MMA drills. Real technical class, just going over drills, nothing live. That's about an hour, and then again, depending on my body. Try to make it though, because the class is gold is 6:30 p.m. at high altitude with Christian.
Yeah, cool.
It's his advanced striking class. That class is money.
Yeah.
After that, we got Thursday 1 p.m. MMA grappling at Easton, Denver.
Is that small gloves?
Small gloves, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's also dodgeball before practice, so
nice.
Kind of gets you through the week. You're beat, but start off practice with 2 out of 3 dodgeball game.
Yeah,
and,
cool. Keep it light.
Yeah, and then there's sometimes there's training at the end like live rounds, like starting like from guard, right? Up, down, out type deal. Sure. But sometimes it's just technical and we just drill and get out of there. Friday rolls around, it's active recovery on Thursday is also kind of the mirror too at night. Thursday night with high altitude striking or Elliot's class.
Nice.
Friday is 10 a.m. Landau's again.
Oh, so 3 days a week?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
10 a.m. Landau's. It's just really light workouts. Kind of just gets the blood flowing. Just an hour active recovery, nonstop movement, but really light. Perfect for the 2 p.m. sparring. That's the MMA rounds with like the small gloves. And
so that's the real sparring.
Yeah, that's the. I mean, we don't like we're wearing small gloves and we're intelligent and we know not to. We're not blasting each other on the feet, holding back power. It's like more geared towards like, you want to work your grappling if you're wearing small gloves sparring. But obviously, you're still working like your game, your strikes, and all that stuff.
So being able to transition and kind of incorporate everything into your game.
Yeah, cool. Your MMA rounds, and then after that, usually I'm pretty wiped after that, but like sometimes Friday night I'll just go to high altitude after that, maybe hit.
Really?
Do that. And then Saturday morning, some drills at high altitude, and then I chill out till Monday.
Cool. I mean, that's a busy week.
Yeah, it's a solid week.
Definitely a full-time approach.
Yeah, man, I love it, man. It's, bodies beat sometimes at the end of it. But like I said, that's the fun part. That's the easy part, in my opinion, of like being a professional is going through the classes and training and practicing and doing that year round, man. It's just man, I just love it here.
Leveling up.
Yeah.
Because you're from Illinois originally?
Yeah. Yep. I started in a little small town, Sterling, Illinois. It's actually where Austin Hubbard's from. Me and him were in the same town. I wrestled at the public school. He was at the private school.
All right.
we never like
a little bit of rivalry.
Yeah, not really, but we never really faced each other into that.
But did you guys meet each other? Like, did you know each other before moving to Colorado?
From like people that like wrestled and stuff like that. Yeah. We never really like. I've seen him like a couple of times, like in like off-season wrestling for like tournaments, or sometimes we'd see each other like at practice like that, but not very common. It wasn't until like after high school and got into fighting, he started coming to. I started getting into like, we had this little gym called Combat Zone. Mm-hmm. It was attached to a hair salon, little like almost garage.
Cool.
And that's where I started like my training there, doing like Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu. And Austin eventually came, like maybe like a year later after I started. I had like maybe 2 amateur fights, and he started coming and to like help out with wrestling. Mm-hmm. And then he seen a fight and was like, "Oh, I want to try this." And then he tried it. He won his first fight. It was crazy. His first fight was crazy. Like, dude came out and just like took his back instantly and pat him in a rear naked choke. And like the ref like did the thing where like it was like WWE, like pulled his hand down. It's like, "Ah, come back." He came back to the second round and TKO'd the dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So did you guys end up training together while you were there in Illinois?
Yeah. We were training together pretty much like our whole amateur careers. I think I mentioned earlier, we 2015 we came out here and visited. No, It was the beginning of 2016. 2016 February we came here and visited Elevation when they were at the Muscle Farm studio. Mm-hmm. I guess, all right, I'll back up a little bit from there though, how I even got here, like how we got out here. So we were training in Sterling, where we were from. Combat Zone eventually broke off. One of the guys from Combat Zone kind of formed his own gym, but it was in his barn. Mm-hmm. But it was actually really nice and really well set up, man. We had like cage panels and all that stuff. We had mats. But it was in a barn. We just called it was Asylum Barn.
Okay.
That's what that was our team. It was pretty much me, Austin, and there was a couple other people that came that just like worked out, and our trainer Joe. And it was like I said, just us. Eventually we started going to Militich, which is about 45 minutes from us, to cross train. And I think Barb Ponchak at the time was fighting there. Former, I think she was the first actually Invicta 125 champ.
I think so. Yeah.
And after training there for a while, she's also really good friends with Kat Zingano.
Oh, okay, cool. And Kat was out here?
Kat Zingano was training here.
Yeah.
Eric Shelton, who was training at Militich at the time, he took a fight out here for RFA.
Uh-huh. And he's in the UFC now, Eric Shelton. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, so he came out here and fought. He seen like the Muscle Farm studio, and him and Barb came back. I remember they were talking about it. But a few months later, my trainer Joe, who's like friends with the Militich people, because he like came with us too to Militich to train. He talked to me and Austin. Was like, "Hey, Barb was telling me like you guys should like come out and like check this place out, visit it." Or Kat was telling her like, "Yeah, send like some people out here to train or whatever." So that's kind of because at the time it wasn't like a public Elevation wasn't like a public gym. It was kind of almost not invite only, but like it was like fighters.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, pros only, people that are serious, and you kind of have to know somebody to get in.
Yeah, so we're like, oh shit, okay, like let's do it. We had amateur fights coming up in March.
So you were still an amateur at the time?
Yeah, still an amateur at the time, and I was preparing it to be my last amateur fight.
Wow. So you had 9 at that point. So you went 10-0 as an amateur.
Right. Yeah. So we came out here, flew out here, visited, and man, it was just like, this is where we're gonna go.
Really, it was just that eye opening.
Yeah, we were here for about a week, and I got Neil Magny's number.
Cool.
And he told me he had like a fighter house that he rents out to people, this and that. Austin got out here way before me. We got back home, and he put in a job transfer from his place to out here. He was
sold.
Colorado. Yeah, and like he just put a job transfer in just to, like, oh, maybe it'll whatever, but we'll try to get out there. Like 2 days later, like, hey, you got the transfer.
Wow.
Like, oh shit, I guess I'm moving. Like, this is happening for him, right? So he moved out here, and then about 9-10 months later, I actually got fired from my job. We were working the same job.
Yeah.
I got fired from my job, and that was probably the best thing that happened to me, dude, honestly, because I was kind of falling in the small town comfortability of like working at a warehouse, like making okay money, enough to get by, like more than enough to get by, but just kind of the comfortability of
getting comfortable in general.
Yeah, and once I got fired, it's like I can just go. Like, there's nothing, like, stop waiting on this, like, oh, I'll put in a transfer next week, or I'll do, like, this, like, oh, nope, you're done, dude. Like,
wow, just
here. So I kind of just gathered up my savings, gathered up what I had, and that was, like, late November when I got fired, and then after my birthday was in January 23rd. I had my birthday, I was still in town, and then the next day I packed up and left.
Wow. So 2018?
That was 2017.
Okay.
January 2017.
So going on 2 years out here.
Yeah.
Yep. How do you feel about it?
Love it, man. It's the best decision ever made. And to anyone that like questions or like, when should I do this? Like, my biggest advice is there is no right time.
Yeah.
There's no right time to like pick up and move, or you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's looking back on it now, like losing my job there, like it's something, it's like a door shutting, but something else opens right up.
Yeah.
And
opportunity. It's
just a matter of you have to do it. You have to go into that uncomfortability. Yeah. Although it was kind of easier because Austin was already out here.
Sure.
So
but still unknown for you. I mean, you're going by word of mouth from someone that obviously trained with you, but it's still completely unknown for you, and different path.
Yeah.
It's still a commitment.
Yeah. I just got a hold of Neil, said, "Hey Neil, you're still renting out rooms, this and that." Next thing you know, like, moving in with Curtis, Austin, Slobodan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you have to pick up a job when you moved out?
Yeah, when I moved out, and I still do it too.
Nice.
I do like so since I've been about 12 or 13, I've been a baseball umpire or sports official.
Yeah.
I do that out here as like independent contract work, and you can actually, like, it's crazy, like, make a pretty decent amount of money if you put in the work out here.
And it's flexible enough where you can still train full time.
Absolutely. And
that's nice.
I've kind of developed that into, now I got a job with the city and county of Denver as like a licensed sports official for them. So it's the first time I've worked as like a referee or sports official where it's like hourly based.
Oh, wow.
It's really interesting. Huh. Yeah. So I do that year round now with all the seasons. Like, pretty much I only did baseball and wrestling. Yeah. But they was like, "Hey, do you want to work?" Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say no. Sure. Like,
do you have to travel, or is it all local?
It's all local.
Nice.
It's all here. It's nice. Basketball, baseball, football, soccer, volleyball.
Cool.
Like, yeah, it's pretty cushy job, man.
Nice.
I really like it, but
and it allows you to focus full time on, or essentially a
full
time approach.
Yeah, they're super flexible with me because when I was getting ready to fight Martinez, like I was doing it was football season, but I asked them, like, "Hey, can you guys fill me in for the next like 3 or 4 weeks, like, so I can just train full time?" Like, yeah, no problem. Let us know when you want to come back.
That has to be a perk. They get it. They understand.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude. I love it.
They understand the approach necessary to succeed.
Yeah, and so you're like, "Oh, how are you able to take off 3 or 4?" Like, another thing I've learned out here is money and wealth management, dude.
Good.
It's a skill.
It is.
It's being frivolous and just spending and this, like, just being really liberal with your money is, man, it goes so fast.
Yeah.
But, like, just buying what you need and, like, living within your means is a big thing I've learned also.
Absolutely. Discipline. I mean, it's discipline everywhere, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't remember the last time I ate out. It's gonna be
That's
after.
awesome.
It's gonna be after the weigh-ins,
of course.
but that'll be my next time. But just like things like that, like making your own food, not buying convenience items. Yeah. That's not living within your means. At least at like the level I'm at, low level pro.
I couldn't agree more. I think for anybody, living below your means is step one, right, to financial freedom. But that's awesome. I mean, it's a great skill to learn, and I think it's something that martial arts is kind of that journey anyway. You learn not only these things that directly apply to martial arts, but these life skills too. Like, you have to market yourself. You have to sell tickets. That's something that benefits you in life. You know,
it's crazy you say that, man. That's another huge aspect that I've learned is marketing yourself.
Yeah.
I credit Josh Copeland a lot with teaching me that, man.
Cuddly bear.
Yeah, he really opened my eyes to knowing, like, showing that I'm a brand, that I have to, like, market myself in a way. I have to, how do I say this? Like, know your worth. Like, if you want to sell, if you want to, like, you have to help the promoter too in a way. You have to generate money for them. You have to, like, sell tickets and how to sell tickets, and, like, you can't just, like, I remember telling me, you can't just, like, post something and then this and that. You have to contact people individually. You have to go to social things. You have to, like,
just a little thing I like that you did is posting, like, people getting the tickets with you.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, that was him. I kind of been slacking on the past.
It's cool though.
Yeah, I sold like 15, 20 now, like the past couple days, and it's like I haven't gotten any attention. But yeah, just like stuff like that, man. I credit to him. Or something he also taught me was my last fight with Caged Aggression, like negotiating. Like, promoters have to make money off their shows. So if you can, like, present yourself as that, then that will, like, help leverage and negotiate your terms. So using his advice, I talked to the promoter and I laid out my terms of what he thought, because it was it was for Caged Aggression.
Right.
And the venue is about 40 minutes from my hometown.
Oh, cool.
So I don't need, like, a hotel or none of that or whatever. So I talked to him and I said, hey, like, were you interested in getting me on your card? Here's what I think. 5 and 5, 500 to show, 500 to win, which is, I think, what he paid me last time. So, I mean, not an increase in anything.
Yeah.
No travel, no hotel. If I don't sell 35 tickets, then I'll take 0% commission.
All right.
So right there, that'll, like, give the promoter, like, oh.
They perk up.
Yeah, like, okay. So, like, if he sells 25 tickets and they're, like, $40 tickets, I just got a free, whatever, $1,000 right there, or however much it is.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I sell more than 35 tickets, I want 25%. If I sell 50 tickets, I want 30%.
And, like, normal, just in general, it's kind of like 20%?
Yeah, normally it's 20%. Like, that's, I think that the average is about 20%.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, like, so more than 35, 25%. More than 50, 30%. More than 75, 35%. If I sell 100 tickets,
it's smart.
40%. If I sell 150 tickets, 45. Like, to, like, a cap of whatever. No, I can't remember the exact details.
Right.
But he, like, replied back, like, man, you should be a manager. That was amazing. Like, all right, I'm in. Let's, like,
cool.
He took it. He's like, yeah, let's find you a matchup, this and that. And I was on the card.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I ended up selling, like, 50, 60 tickets. Made a decent amount of commission. Well,
it's a business relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're painting there, it's a quid pro quo, right? Like, hey, I'll work for you, you work for me, and we both benefit in this situation.
Yeah.
I think it's smart, and I think it's something a lot of fighters could do for themselves. And, like, how much work did that really take? It just took putting yourself out there and the chance of him saying no. Well, he says no, then you're in the same position anyway.
Exactly. Worst case scenario is no.
Yeah.
And also to add on top of that is, like, being sociable, being, like, exposing your brand is a big part of that too. Like, with indie, especially for low level, like myself, like people that aren't in, like, big promotions, low level pros. A big part of money you can make is from ticket commission,
right.
and I mean, obviously it helped. I was, like, right next to my hometown,
so
they would sell like a shit ton. But finding sponsors, and especially a very important sponsor find is a T-shirt guy, someone that makes T-shirts that'll charge you the T-shirts at his cost.
Right.
So you find a T-shirt guy, you find a couple other sponsors to kick out money towards the T-shirts, or clothing or whatever, hoodies. And then you're essentially getting free inventory with what the sponsor's paying for. And then when you sell your apparel, or whatever, that's all profit.
Yep.
So that's a huge, huge part of it.
Nice. How do you go about finding your sponsors? Do you generally just DM people, like you're reaching out directly, or is it through people?
I try to like be in person when I do it.
Nice.
I at this point, I have a few, like my t-shirt guy is back home in Sterling, so I use him still.
Cool.
A couple of local, like for this fight, since it's gonna be on Fight Pass, I've been reaching out to like sports bars.
Nice.
Like
That's
trying
smart.
to find the official, like my official watch party. Hey, will you guys be my official watch party?
Yeah.
I'll like promote like your promotion. You'll have, I'm sure I can get at least like 30, 50 people,
Cool.
like talking back home,
Right.
30, 50 people to come, show up, pack the house. And, you guys could I always make it clear that I'm not looking to just take. I'm looking to provide a mutually beneficial relationship.
This is what I can provide for you
Yeah.
if you can provide this for me.
Yes.
Yeah. I like it.
So yeah.
It's just building relationships, essentially.
Yeah, it really is. And it's, you can't be afraid of rejection either.
No.
I mean, I only have right now, maybe like 6 or 7 sponsors.
That's pretty good.
But like I got turned down by tons before getting
it's a numbers game. It's like dating.
You can't be afraid of rejection.
That's right. I mean, and, again, it's another thing that martial arts teaches you, right? You can't be afraid to lose. Otherwise, you're going to fight scared or fight not to lose instead of fighting to win.
Exactly.
So, no, I mean, it's all a journey, all a learning process. So how did you first get started? I mean, when did you decide that you were going to be a martial artist, mixed martial artist?
I love this story, but I got to go to the bathroom.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll take a break.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So, bathroom break.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're about to tell me about kind of how you got started in martial arts and what first got you interested in it in general.
All right. This dates back. So, let's go.
You said 9 years ago, really, right?
That's when I started training.
Like
actually, like really training and competing. So we'll go to 2009.
That's when I graduated high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going into my senior or junior that year.
Okay.
Yeah, or like something like that. Okay. Summer going into senior year. That's where we start. Me, 2 other buddies, and like a couple girls. We're out playing mini golf. And we're from a really small town too, like 15,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing mini golf, or we get there to start playing mini golf, and there's a group in front of us, probably on the 16th, 17th hole, or something like that. They're almost done. And someone I'm with, like, yells out at them, "Hey, queer! Hey, fag!" Or, just talking shit. Yeah, I looked at him like, "You know him?" Like, nope. Nope. Okay. Okay, fast forward about 45, 50 minutes. We're on like 13th, 14th hole. Everything's going fine. All of a sudden, like this is like a mini golf attached to like a little drive-through Dairy Queen.
Okay.
It's really small, like not a lot of parking spots. We see like this one car pulls up, another car pulls up, another car pulls up. It's like they're all 3 clown cars. People are like piling out of these cars, like just tons of people piling out of these cars, entering the golf course, like the golf course or whatever, the mini golf course or whatever, and just like swarming, circling us. And like this was a diverse group of people too. There was like old people there. There was like 40-year-old adults. There was kids, girls, teenagers, guys. The group that like my buddy was yelling at too, though, like called like whatever. Like they were there, and then they just had all like construction workers with vests. I'm like, what is going on?
Damn.
Like circled by us.
So they didn't take it lightly.
Yeah, I pretty like, hey, you think you're funny now? I heard you back there calling me a queer. Like, just like, I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
How, like, totally, like I said, small town, dude. Like, I'd never seen like this many people like at once in one location anyway, dude. Other than like the city or something. So, nothing ended up happening to us though. Like, they got in our faces, punked us out, made us feel like little bitches. And
it's a lot of people.
Yeah, like everyone I was with too, like didn't say anything. They were just like, "What's gonna happen?" And I was just like talking to him, like, "No, like we didn't do it."
Yeah.
So after that, me and like my buddy that like called him the names or whatever, we are like, "Man, dude, we gotta learn how to like defend ourselves or something." So we started like looking up like kickboxing, MMA places, but there weren't really any around other than like maybe an hour's drive or something. So we just we just started watching like YouTube videos of like, cause I was still I was wrestling at the time,
Okay.
so like I had done grappling and stuff.
Yeah.
So we started watching like grappling videos on YouTube and practicing like YouTube video, like practicing on the trampoline outside, like just grappling moves, submissions, just whatever.
Right.
And towards the end of the summer though, we just like, hey, let's like actually do like a simulated fight or something. So one day on the trampoline, we got like the MMA gloves out, mouthpiece. We got like went and bought mouthpieces, the Everlast like $10 Walmart MMA gloves, and our dumbasses got on the trampoline. We had like another person there. We're doing like 1 minute rounds or something. Yeah, and we got these like 4-ounce gloves, dude. Just like I still remember to this day, dude. The hardest I've ever been hit in a live fight ever in my life was me and like the buddy that I called him a queer.
Yeah.
We were fighting, and we started out, and he just fucking threw a right hand, dude, and like my world was spinning, dude. And like I remember I like hopped off the trampoline because I was like, what are you doing? Like get back on, okay, get back on the trampoline. And we like fight for like 3 rounds or whatever, and he like clearly won because I was like,
sure,
yeah, I was fucked up, dude. I just remember going after that, just like, that was like an experience of a fight or something.
But your first taste.
Yeah, for like something like that. So there were other like kids around the neighborhood too that came like, and like they threw on gloves and like we had some fights on the trampoline one day. So that was like the first taste, but it keeps going from here. So we'll go forward a couple months. I'm in high school now, senior year, summer's over, and I was telling one of my buddies that I wrestle with, I was like, yeah, I was like, he was in MMA too. I was like, yeah, me and so were doing stuff over the summer. We did like some simulated fights and just like we're just practicing shit like that. Oh, that's cool. Like I got a friend too. Like he had a friend that like wasn't a wrestler, but like he liked MMA, UFC a lot, shit like that too. And he did like some like kickboxing in his garage. It's basically the similar thing we were doing, but with like stand up.
Oh, striking.
Yeah. He's like, so how do we? I was like, I'd fight him. He's like, no, dude, you don't want to fight him. I was like, oh, dude, let's do it. Let's figure it out or some shit. I was like, all right, well, where are we going to do it at? Figure out a place. All right, how about Thomas Park? Let's do it a week from this Friday. Like, all right, sure. Like, tell him, like, I'll do it, dude. Okay. Thomas Park's like this area, and it's a park, and then there's like this back enclosure of it. It's almost like there's a little path leading to it, and there's like a tree circle around it.
Gotcha.
So it's in the public, but this area, the circular place, is like very concealed. Like if you're driving down the main road, it's right off the main road. You can't see. It's just trees.
Perfect place for fighting.
Yeah, So, rumors going around the school now. People come up to me like, "You're gonna get your fucking ass beat." Just like you saw, just like, oh, dude, fuck him up, fuck beat his ass. It was really like, I was just
real
like,
hype, everything.
Yeah, dude, it was, kids at school, like, fucking word travels around fast. Yeah. Small town shit. So, that Friday comes, man, and it's like, okay, like this is the day. Like I was saying, everyone's like, you're gonna get your ass beat or good luck, shit like that. Just after school, go home, took like a nap. We were meeting at 5 o'clock, schooled out at like 3, I think. Went home, took a nap. My buddy came and like picked me up in his car. I was like, you ready? Like, all right, yeah, let's go.
I'm ready.
Yeah, so get in the car. He's like blasting metal music. Was like trying to pump me up. And we get to the park, and I walked to that enclosure part in the circle area, and there's like 50, 60 people there in this big, like a circle of people, and the guy I was going to fight was already like in his shorts, already had his mouthpiece and gloves on. It's like hopping in the middle like in a fight, dude, like, warmed up, ready to go. I was like, whoa, what the, like, fuck, this is...
Real deal.
Yeah, like this shit's happening, damn. I'm like in my school clothes still and everything, like I got to get undressed there and put my stuff on. We had, it was 2 3-minute rounds, and we had like 2 people there as like judges or whatever. So it was timed, mouthpiece, all this crap, Vaseline or whatever too. Yeah. So that happens. We start the go through the prep or whatever, put the grease on, all that crap, and the fight starts. I like no idea what I'm doing. As far as I'm just thinking, all right, wrestle him, take him down, and like do some submission moves or something. He's like throwing like Superman punches and like spinning back. Like he's doing all this fancy crap from like a mile away too.
Right.
It's like none of it's like, whoa, like just like back it up, like circles moving with, you know, the crowd of people are like moving around with.
Yeah.
And I eventually took him down, and not to make it anticlimactic, pretty much took him down. He gave up his back, and I like rear naked choked him.
Yeah.
Got up, was like, let's go again.
You're
Like,
feeling it. You love it at that point.
Well, him though.
Oh,
He's
gotcha.
like, let's fight again. I was like, all right, okay. Like, because the whole crowd was like booing because they like
Gotcha.
all I did was take him down, right, and like lay on him, and then he gave his back and choked him. Like, what? That was the fight? Like,
Right. They want blood.
Yeah, it's like, let's go again. Okay, so we go again. Pretty much same scenario. Took him down and submitted him again fairly quick. And man, dude, that was like a crazy. I don't know, just the first taste of like, I don't know, just the adversity leading up to it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like all the people
Everything.
talking. Yeah, and then like, oh, like I won. That was cool. But that eventually evolved. There's like, after that, like other kids wanted to fight.
Fight Club.
Yes. It,
Cool.
You know, it turned into
Fucking
this.
cool.
It turned into this. Other kids wanted to fight. And that same day, there was like a one-punch knockout. Like
Wow.
the fight after mine. Like there were 3 other fights.
Cool.
And there's, like crazy ones too. Like one kid got dropped, came back, like took the other kid down, like was beating him. It was just like crazy actual fights. One kid got like slept, but he ended up being fine, luckily.
Yeah.
But after that, like people were talking about school and like, oh, let's schedule the next one. Or someone like, I get like kids text like, hey, you want to fight like this?
Wow.
So we ended up having like 3 more like on a Friday.
Huh.
Like fights at Thomas
Cool,
Park called
cool.
Woodland Brawl. We like call it Woodland Brawls.
I
And
like it.
Oh my.
Dude, in reality, that's probably really good experience for you leading into amateur career.
It was like, I don't know, man. It was insane. Like that first time walking like out to the park or whatever, and then there's all these people out there, and my opponent's already like in the middle, like hopping.
Well, that's
up,
the part that
like
gets
in a
to
cage.
people, you know? I mean, that's
Yeah.
the part that gets to people in their first amateur fights. So you got that out of the way before it really counted. I mean, it matters, right?
Yeah.
It matters because it's all your peers, all your schoolmates in front of you or around you watching this, and you don't want to get embarrassed. But I mean, those feelings, those thoughts are exactly what happen when you go into the cage too. So in reality, it is a great experience for you to be able to start that way.
That feeling though, after, because I think I did 2 or I fought 4 times total in the Woodland Brawl thing or whatever. And the last time was against someone that like had punked me out like a year before. Like he came up to me in school and just like punched me in the face, and I did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about it. And we fought, and I like smashed him.
Nice.
Like, and that feeling of like winning after that, like I was like, I want to like, I'm gonna compete like after I'm done with high school and wrestling. And then like the next week, my wrestling coach was like, "What the fuck are you doing? We got wrestling in like 3 weeks. You dumbass! You're not doing this shit anymore. Stop!" And so I was like done doing it or whatever. Okay,
But you're
like,
still training wrestling.
Yeah, like wrestling season's coming up. Like no more fighting. Like what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Sure.
Stop. All right, so it keeps going though. The hole keeps digging from here. So we're done doing this, and the last, oh my God, this one wasn't my idea, but one of my buddies that like helped me structure this, like I fought his friend, my wrestling buddy. He like, to make it official or whatever, he made contracts, like waiver contracts or whatever for like the last fights, and had like people sign off like injury and all all this shit. Like had like
it's pretty funny.
Dude, so stupid, man. Dumbass kids. But like writing like witness test, like witnesses, like witness slots, like typed it out like computer class or something, printed out a bunch. And there was like, again, like 50, 60 kids there. So just having witnesses sign it or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, like a month goes by and he's like the contractor in his glove box or something. The school has a lockdown and has like a drug search.
Huh.
So I think the dogs hit on his car.
Sure.
And I think there was like some seeds or something in his car. They didn't find any drugs, but they hit on his car and they like searched his car, opened the glove box. Police found these contracts. Found these contracts for like these fights, all these names. Well, they turned that into school now. Dude. The school starts doing this investigation, calling people.
Oh my God.
Like just like you're hearing it as the week, like it in a couple days, like in a week they like ended up like figuring it out. But they're like calling all these names, like so and so, please report. So and so, please report. And like I hear like the chain of people like they were involved in it. Like
I know my name's coming.
Yeah, I'm like Justin Wetzell, please report. So we have like X amount of people that are saying that you are the one that's behind all this. Like, we've heard about, like, this fighting shit. Because I think, too, like, in between that time period of, like, the contracts getting caught and, like, us stopping doing it, kids that had beef or whatever just went there and fought. Like, without gloves, just, like, went.
It was just the place to go do it at that point.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
So they're like, what's going on? Is this what you want to be remembered as? It's like, I don't know, man. Like, we're just getting together and, like, fighting, like for sport or whatever. They couldn't comprehend it, and they were just. And I remember that year too, like later in the year, like, teachers would, like, give me shit or some shit. Like, I was being like a jackass in class or some shit, and they'd be like, "Hey, does fighting in the park gonna get you somewhere in life?" Like,
maybe.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I know. But after school, after wrestling, after school was over, I pretty much, like, I didn't do shit with my life after that. Like, in the summer, and then after summer, I went to college. Started going to my local, like, community college. Hated it. Had no idea. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just doing it because that's what they were told to do.
It's the next step.
Yeah,
right?
That's what you're supposed to do to be successful when you grow up. You have to go to college, because if you don't, you're a loser.
Yep.
Like, that type of inside. I hated it. Just like, what am I doing here? After the semester, I don't even think I made it a semester, dude. I was like, I'm not doing this, and I just started going to Combat Zone at the time. What I talked about earlier.
How did you find out about it?
How did I find out about it? Oh, no, okay. I went to Combat Zone actually the year before, when I was in, like, when I started wrestling. So after the Fight Club shit, like, wrestling season was going on, I'd go to wrestling practice and then go to, like, the kickboxing at Combat Zone at night. But it was, like, too much, like, kind of to do, like, go to school, go to wrestling practice.
It's a lot.
And then my coach was like, "No, we got wrestling meets coming up now.
Wrestling's
like,
all the time.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that. So you know, if you want to do that when you're done with wrestling, do it. That's cool, man. Like, by all means. But it's wrestling season. You're wrestling. Stop fucking going there." So I took off until the end of the summer after I graduated. Started training there. Started getting my ass beat every day. Just, like, slowly, like. Yeah, and then I talked earlier about, like, from Combat Zone to Asylum to Militage and Asylum to...
It's a good base. I mean, first of all, starting with wrestling in general, but also getting those fights in before it counts for anything.
That's the long story of, like, I guess you could say how I got involved in, like, MMA, really.
And it explains the grappling base that you're speaking to, this idea that, you know, you found success in it early. Not only that, but you were working on grappling your whole, you know, high school wrestling career.
Yeah.
So then you go start to add the striking into it, go to Asylum. Milicic is another one that they're very oriented towards the ground.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's Tim Sylvia, Matt Hughes. I mean, all these guys that have very strong ground games, and then also work on the stand-up aspect of things too. And then you find great elevation. And I mean, even elevation feeds into your game, right? Elevation is a grinding, or a lot of the fighters have this grinding style where they're able to grapple anywhere, and then they also have this striking technique. And depending where you go, like, you're going to high altitude martial arts, you've got the footwork aspect of things. So I mean, your career has kind of developed along with your journey. You know, it is interesting to see.
Yeah, and you know, I had a lot of early on a lot of self-doubt.
Sure.
That, I have no base. Like, all I did was wrestle in high school, and I was not a successful high school wrestler, dude. Yeah. I didn't really figure it out until maybe my senior year, and I was, like, mediocre at best.
Right.
But my junior year in wrestling, man, my record was, like, 1-9.
Yeah.
9 losses, all by pin.
Yeah.
Like, I did terrible, man. I didn't, like, figure this shit out, like, wrestling and none of that, till, like, after I graduated.
Sure.
So I always had a lot of self-doubt that, you know, I'm not a college wrestler. You got to be a college wrestler to make it in the UFC.
I hear what you're
like,
saying,
if you're wrestling based, you know what I mean?
I get it.
I'm not that, but
I don't think it's necessary.
It's not.
It
really isn't. And I mean, I know that now, but I'm saying early on, I had that doubt.
Right.
Now it's no doubt at all to me that, like, you can still make it even if you don't have that collegiate base or this and that. You have to want to be that good. You have to consciously put in the work to do it.
Yep. Well, and where you at the time doing MMA, those college wrestlers were just doing wrestling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're learning to put this all together. Not only that, the wrestling, you know, obviously learning technique is good and important, but you're learning that mental side of things that ability to grind when it's fucking terrible and
Yeah.
you're in your second practice of the day after you already went through your school day, after who knows what's going on in your social life, and then you still have to go to practice and do your drills at the end of practice, and just wrestling sucks. To be blunt, it's very hard.
It does suck, man. I hated it, to be honest. And like now I love it. Now it's like I love to wrestle, but like in school doing it, I was like I did in middle school too, but my freshman year, like after like one of the first practices, I was like, I gotta do this for fucking 3 more years.
Right.
Like this year, 3 more years, like this sucks.
It's literally a grind.
But that mentality too of like, I don't want to do this is also why I was not able to like be successful.
Of course. You got to be mentally there as well. And but regardless of whether you were mentally there or not, you went through it. You did the grinds. You had the practices, you had the showing up when you don't want to show up aspect of things that wrestling does to you, because you almost feel like you have to. You don't know that you can just not go to practice. You just feel like, well, I gotta go.
Absolutely.
That's good. It's a good base. And now again, you went 10-0 as an amateur, you're 4-1 as a pro. You're in the spot where you're about to fight for LFA on their new contract with UFC Fight Pass against a guy that's also unbeaten, 1-0, but still an unbeaten pro. You're in a beautiful position, and your journey led you here. So, it's hard to argue against the success that you've had.
Yeah, man, it's been great. It's man, it doesn't feel like it, but looking at it now, like it's been a long journey. Like 9 years.
It's a while.
It is a while.
You're close to your 10,000 hours, right, of mastery.
Yeah, it's awesome you say that, man. That's something I've learned. Like I can't remember who was it told me about that. They were reading about a book. But...
Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone told me about like there's a book, there's like mastery or whatever. Like the general is about 10,000 hours of repetition. It'd be interesting to see what that number is at.
I know, right?
But with MMA, it's like it's different then, because like there's so many different aspects. Like you have to get 10,000 each one, or do they all combine? Like
it's a good question. Yeah, it is interesting. I think that's what's so cool about MMA. Like you could be amazing at Muay Thai, you could be the best Muay Thai fighter in the world, and then you get in that MMA cage, someone takes you down, you're on your back, and you could be in a world of hurt.
Or like you just get hit by those small gloves, like you're, like by someone that is an inferior striker or something, but he just throws and that small glove sneaks through and cracks you.
Yep.
Like, what the hell is happening? This is
one championship. Yoda Songklai, legend in the Muay Thai world, just got knocked out by a guy on 3-4 days notice.
Recently?
Yeah, Russian guy this past weekend. Okay. Yeah, just those small MMA gloves and gets through the guard. It's not the same. And it's out.
One OC's been great, man. I don't get to catch it too often because the times are usually like 1, 2 in the morning or something like that. But
you know what else they're good at though? They show you the highlights really well on their Instagram. That's what I appreciate. They actually they don't wait around. They'll post it like right after the fight. Which is nice.
I usually see like I'll see the highlight and then like that gives me the ability to like type in and look up like. Watch the fight and
watch the whole thing. And then it's on YouTube the next week. They're crushing it. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, that's a big thing. They actually have their fights on YouTube. You will not find a UFC fight. I mean, you'll find some free fights that the UFC will allow, but you can't just like find...
Yeah, I know. I'm not on the business side of the UFC, but I think it's good to have those fights on YouTube. Glory does it too. Glory will do like a recap show where they only show you the action of all the fights. So, it cuts the card down to like a third, and there's no in between, no like standing around. You just see the guys putting it to each other. It's cool. But cool. So, I want to, you'll sign that before you leave, and I want a tip for a young fighter, but how can people follow you first? How can people follow you online?
Okay, so Instagram, J Wetzell MMA. I've been really trying to take. That's another thing too. I've been learning very recently is take your social media career your social media account very seriously, and that's really going to promote you. And promotions, sponsors, they're going to look at that and they're going to see like, oh, you have this many, like you how much influence I guess you kind of have. Yeah. But just J Wetzell MMA. That's where I'm going to be posting most of my like fight story career. Cool. I have a Facebook too, but most of my like up to date stuff you're gonna be able to find on Instagram.
Cool.
J Wetzell MMA. Haven't really gotten to the Twitter realm yet. I've had one for like 10 years, but haven't done shit with it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Twitter.
Yeah, me neither.
Cool. So probably J Wetzell MMA.
Yep.
Cool. So check them out. And then if you had to give a tip to a young fighter, a young aspiring fighter looking to be in this spot, fighting on LFA on a big card. What would that tip be? Stay consistent, stay ready, and if you're in a small town like I was, and you kind of question your training or this and that, there's no right time.
There's no right time to pick up and move. You just got to do it. You know, it's just, if you want it, go get it. You got to pick it up and move.
I love it.
Yeah.
So go follow him online. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Prize Fighting Business. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook. And check out Justin fighting on UFC Fight Pass this Saturday. What do you know what time it starts?
Friday.
Oh, Friday. I'm sorry.
Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Cool.
The main card starts at 8 p.m.
Cool.
8 p.m. and the undercard at 6.
And he's on the main card, so check it out.
Card.
And go download Fight Pass if you need to. Awesome, man. Thank you very much, Justin.
So sweet.
Cool.